Luke.
Yeah.
So you were discerning the priesthood for 4 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into that a little bit. So what happened? What happened with that? And why aren't I sitting here with Father?
Yeah.
Father Luke.
My situation was I had a pretty intense conversion at LSU of all places, and
How old were you when you had the conversion to the Catholic faith?
well, I was always Catholic, but
You
had like
were-
a reversion of my. I came
So you
alive.
were baptized.
Yeah, I was
you went through all the
always Catholic.
sacraments
Yeah, but
as
it
a
wasn't
kid and everything.
yeah.
No,
I
but
got into the
your
LSU.
parents didn't
No.
go to mass on a weekly
We
basis
did.
at least.
We
Oh, you
did.
Oh, okay.
But like I never really like made my Catholicism my own. I didn't
Oh, so
really
let's
come
get into that real quick.
Sure.
So, what was your attitude as a kid as far as
Yeah.
going to church? I mean, did you just think this is what mom and dad do, but I don't really like? What were your thoughts?
I just kind of went along with the motions. I was in my teenage years, just kind of. I guess I never really like questioned it. I just did what everyone else was doing, not really like just waffling.
Yeah, me too.
And was like, okay, yeah, you can believe that. Sure, I guess I'm Catholic. I'm baptized. I'll get confirmed.
That's what. Yeah, if that's what you guys say. Then,
Sure. Yeah, but I never really like owned it. You know.
No.
Well, then fast forward into my high school years. Not to make a long story short, both of my uncles and my mom all had these massive conversion experiences that stemmed from Mother Angelica, who was in a nun on EWTN.
My wife loves her.
And
I love her too.
Yeah, they all
build on your strengths, not
yeah.
your weaknesses.
So she just blew their world up individually. Anyway, so there was this massive like moment in time in my junior and senior year where the people closest to me all kind of like had their own serious conversions of faith. I thought they were nuts at the time. And then I went to LSU, continued just like, I think I stopped going to mass for some time because I was like, whatever. I was only going because I was going with my parents before.
Right. Yeah, that's
Stopped
right. I'm in
going,
college
yeah,
now. I'm a
whatever.
man.
Yeah,
I'm not doing this
yeah.
shit.
So I just was drinking, partying a lot, and of course just miserable, like just totally empty, no faith, no spiritual life. Going to class because I was supposed to do, but I had no direction. No
What were you
meaning.
studying?
General studies.
Yeah, of course.
I had no, I had friends who were like, I want to be a doctor. I was like, I never really had like
That
this
desire.
desire to be a
huge,
specific thing. It was like just, I guess I need to get a job. Like, I don't know.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
So.
Did you end up getting a degree?
Yeah. So.
Okay. In general studies?
No. So I was at LSU, miserable. I won't go into the whole thing because we could spend hours on this.
We can come back to it.
I had a massive experience of God's love at LSU.
Wow.
And had nowhere to turn but to Him because I was completely empty. And then when I did that, met some incredible, absolutely amazing students at LSU on campus at the Catholic Student Center.
That's right.
Who are still some of my best friends today.
No kidding.
And
what is that called? It's called the
Christ the King's Catholic Student Center.
I'm thinking of something else. There's another. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I met some amazing people there. At the time, of course, I was like general studies, didn't know what I wanted to do. But when I came into my faith, where it like kind of came alive in me,
Right.
I was like, okay, like the Eucharist is really Jesus, and like the sacraments are real, and I need to go to confession. And I was like, on paper, at that moment in time, I dove headfirst into my faith. On paper, it made all the sense in the world to be a priest. I was like, well, why would I be anything else?
Why would
like,
I even consider?
If the Eucharist is really
did you feel like God was calling you to that?
Well, I'll get into that.
Yeah.
But all in here, it was like,
Yeah, logically.
What's better? Be a lawyer or like be able to confect the Eucharist?
Yeah.
On paper,
Wow.
If you're objectively looking at things for what they really are, supernatural faith, Jesus in the Eucharist, absolving sins, like,
oh God,
yeah, dude,
huge.
you need to be a priest.
Yeah,
like, okay,
bring
like,
it on.
If the sacraments are real, yes.
God bless you.
So in my head, it made sense.
Right.
And it brought me into the seminary to discern, okay, like it makes sense up here.
What seminary did you go to?
St. Joseph Seminary.
St. Joseph. Oh, yeah. Up in...
Yeah, St. Ben's in Covington.
Covington, yeah.
So it made all kind of sense. I was like, yeah. But then I got there, lived it, started really praying and muscling over it.
Right.
And the simplest way to say it is that the head and the heart were two different wavelengths. My head rationally it made sense.
That's right.
The actual call from God was not there.
You didn't.
So I'd spent 4 years trying to reconcile this.
Trying to get them to connect.
And
Like,
it never connected.
Come on.
It never connected.
Yeah,
and it brought me peace and joy to leave. The
So
seminary.
a woman didn't have anything to do
No.
with it or anything like that. It
No.
wasn't like you were like, oh,
No.
you weren't thinking about marriage at all. You weren't thinking
Well, I mean, I knew
as far as that in the heart. Like
I knew the
so-
sacrifice was going to be
Yeah.
really to not have a wife and
Well,
not.
all of it, right?
I
yeah,
knew that would be the
poverty,
case, but
fidelity.
I
yeah.
fell in love with Christ. I was on a full steam ahead
Right.
mission,
Right.
and I was ready to give it up
That's
for
inspiring,
him.
yeah.
And but
Right.
the call just wasn't there from him. In my head, it made sense. So then, when I finally left, there was a massive peace in my heart to leave,
Wow.
and that alone told me that it was the best.
After
for me.
4 years.
Yeah, I went checked out religious orders. Was in the diocesan seminary for a while.
God bless you.
Checked it all.
How long does it take to
Depends
become
on,
a priest? Yeah, I mean it's like
If you're-
it's like an 8-year deal or
yeah,
something.
if you become a diocesan priest,
I'm a convert from way late. I mean, a convert to
yeah,
Christianity, really.
Yeah.
Catholicism. But yeah, so
yeah. My discernment though was like if you're like I'm going to be a priest and you know God's calling you, you can. It's essentially like 6 to 8 years.
okay.
But my 4-year thing was discerning. Like I was visiting the Franciscans. I wasn't always in the diocesan seminary.
Right.
I was checking out different things.
You were, right.
and realized.
Who else? What are the words you check out? Like the Jesuits and
Franciscans,
Franciscans,
Benedictines.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Those are the main ones. Jesuits a little bit. The Fathers of
Yeah.
Mercy I was looking at. It's
Okay.
another order. Anyway,
So when you ultimately decided, like, okay,
yeah.
God's not calling me to do this, at that point, did marriage and kids pop into your mind at all?
At
Did
that-
you think, okay, well then, because I very definitely, especially with my conversion, I very definitely, I still, and I know this isn't probably a proper attitude, but I almost feel like, yeah, there's two lifestyles for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I don't really agree. You can sit there all day and argue for the single lifestyle, but I think, no. You're going to be married
Yeah.
or be a priest or a nun. I mean, I do have a lot of respect for those lifestyles, those vocations.
Yeah.
It is, being a convert too, it is hard for me to wrap my mind around
Yeah.
that lifestyle based on the lifestyle that I live.
Correct.
I do believe everyone should live this way.
Yeah.
I would wish my life on my worst enemy,
Yeah.
you know.
I think. at
But
the
for
end of
you, like, you did discern,
the- yeah.
golly,
So
4
it's-
years.
At the end of the day, it's like I'm gonna be a gift.
Amen.
Is it gonna be
You
as
are.
a priest,
You are a
or
gift.
am I gonna give myself as a
Right.
father and a husband? And I
So that really
discerned
was your attitude.
Yeah,
so
I'm
you
gonna
just
be a gift.
you
Yeah.
went out and were like,
I'm gonna-
okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna figure this
That's
out.
how you become alive. Like
Yeah.
you're not meant to like fulfill all of your desires alone by yourself in a corner. You're
Gosh, I
meant
don't
to be
think you
a gift.
can.
You can't.
Yeah.
You'd be miserable.
yeah. Yeah, see, and that's another. That just reminds me of another. We can talk
Yeah.
about.
We
No,
can do
I
this one.
had a vision. God gave me a vision at one point. And like I said, we can talk about that
Yeah,
later.
that's
But no, I just could not agree more. I
Yeah.
could not agree more. I think too, as a husband and father, it's just given me a motivation I didn't think I even had.
Mhm.
You know, I'm not an ambitious person.
Yeah.
And I'm not a hardworking person, but there is a fire under my ass all the time.
Yeah. It's awesome.
You know,
It's infectious.
and I am
man.
hopping and
Yes.
popping. I'm just like, ah! Ah! Help! Help!
Yeah.
So what was your attitude? So after the priesthood, did you have a favorable attitude about having children? Like, again, as far as kids were concerned, like when did that ever cross your mind? I mean, did it cross your mind like after you got married? Like you married a woman that was like,
Yeah.
I mean, did Addie say
Yeah.
like I want to have? Did you guys have like when you guys were engaged? Did you did you court her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you guys talked about, okay,
Mhm.
are we gonna have kids? And you were like,
Yeah.
shit, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that our moral compass was
Yeah.
aligned, but also that we had the
Huge.
same thoughts on kids.
I mean, that's
and-
huge,
Yeah, it's like we're gonna
right?
be pro-life.
I mean, I don't want to marry a woman that
No.
wants to cut it off after 3
No, it's, yeah.
or whatever, you know? Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I just want to have one, and it's
Right.
like, whoa, wait a minute.
Mhm.
No, and see, I think that's so very important, especially for all of our younger, all the young men out there. I just think,
Yeah.
Stop playing games with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You really like someone, they're funny, you're attracted to them. It's like,
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on having kids?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're the woman. You got to do all the work.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not gonna try to find this out before you walk down the aisle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what is life like now, having multiple kids?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of effort.
We were blessed to not have any issues.
Yeah.
Starting out, like we got married, and then
How old are you now?
I'm 40, just turned 40.
Oh yeah. So you guys potentially could have one or two more,
I want
maybe.
to.
God willing.
Yeah, whatever
Yeah,
you
that's
want.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
To
We had our last at 44.
Yeah.
So.
To answer your question, I mean, it's it happened very easily for us. Thanks be to God, because I have friends who are just desperate to have children. It breaks my heart.
Yeah. Me
and
too.
Then, and then you have others who are selfish. Let's call it what it is.
Amen.
They're selfish.
That's right.
They're selfish to not be open to life, because look, at the end of the day, it isn't about you.
It's
not about
true.
you.
Well,
Like,
and maybe it's about you for such a short period of time,
It's
but
not.
middle age will be here before you know it, and you're going down, brother.
Look, you ask people.
You are going
Yeah,
down, and
Yeah.
again, I love to say all the time, because we're all trying to hang on
Yeah.
to this precious gift.
Yeah.
And again, if you want to stay young, surround yourself with youth.
Yeah.
I'm 53 years old this year, and yes, I'm still very immature and foolish and youthful, whatever. I have a lot of young people around me all the time.
That's great, man.
I mean,
Yeah.
praise be to God, or knock on wood.
Mhm.
I mean, because again, what else are you going to do
What are you gonna do?
with your selfish ass?
Well, you ask older people who decided, I want to have one. We want to have two, maybe two. Have
we
two
all we
kids,"
had was one or two.
and decide to just whatever they get
Yeah.
fixed, whatever they decide to do, just contracept. You ask them later on in life, what's your biggest regret? We didn't have more kids.
All day.
Everybody.
All the
You
time.
ask my parents, same exact thing.
No
It's me
kidding.
and my sister.
Yeah.
Like, all the time. We should have more.
My mother's
Yeah. Yeah.
biggest regret,
Yeah.
easily,
Yeah.
that she didn't have more children, or that she was open.
The way I
She
think-
too
yeah.
contracepted
Yeah.
and regrets it
Mhm.
with an I.
Regrets it.
Regret.
The way that I think
Worse
about
than
it is,
regret.
I try to think about it in terms of like, okay, it's hard right now. I've got one that's about to be 7, one that just turned 5, and one who's 3. It's hard
Yeah,
right
you're
now.
in the trenches.
We're in the
yeah.
trenches, okay? It's hard.
Yeah,
So the question is like, do I want more hard on my life right now? Okay.
yeah.
I try to think of it in a different realm, which is, okay, number one, it's not about me. I'm giving myself, I'm meant to be a gift. How dare I say no to more life, okay?
How dare
When,
you? Yeah.
when
Shame
when I,
on
when
you.
I love my life so much, and I'm not going to give the
That's
opportunity to somebody else, okay, number one. But the other thing is, like, on a selfish note,
Yeah.
I try to think of myself when I'm 60 at a Thanksgiving table with 5 and 6 kids around me. Is there anything better in life? Is there anything better?
No.
You're going to be able to show up on Thanksgiving dinner with these amazing children who love you and hang on every word you say,
That's right.
and their grandchildren, and look at this gift you gave God.
Luke, I could testify
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
I already
You see it already.
experienced this.
Yes.
And it is
Yeah.
fucking tastic.
Yes.
It's the most fantastic.
Imagine if you didn't do it. No. Can you
it's
think of
just
any of your
you.
kids not being here right
Oh
now?
my God. I mean,
Can you even think about that?
no. I mean, and again, I think you hit the nail on the head, and this is where we'll end today. I mean,
Yeah, we
you'll
can
be
keep
back,
going, we keep going. Yeah.
but no, you hit the nail on the head. I have these moments like every weekend,
Yeah. It's amazing.
and it makes me want to cry
Yeah.
because I'm just like, who am I?
Yeah, you did it. Yeah.
Why? No one deserves this.
Mhm.
I don't deserve this.
Right.
This crazy, action-packed. I mean, my in-laws are in town right now. We had all the kids over last night making sandwiches. I choked down a freaking a sunflower or a sun-dried tomato turkey sandwich, and I ran off to play pickleball with my son at Franco's. I came back; they were still there.
That's
I mean,
awesome. That's amazing.
I mean,
What a life, man.
it's ridiculous.
What a life.
It's so fantastic, so amazing.
Yeah, and if you want to,
and that is my biggest wish.
Yeah.
Is that you have another child.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing I think I can look you in the eye as a man and say, go home and make a baby tonight.
Do it, man. Yeah.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Because number one, if your wife is letting you make a baby, dude, right there.
Look,
Look at what's in it for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you were so worried about what's in it for you.
That's it.
It's all for you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And
Right?
look, the way I want to end this whole thing, if you'll let
Please.
me,
Never.
is
I gotta stop talking so much. I'm
as
gonna
a
give you an
man-
Indian rub.
As a man, you want to leave a legacy, and you
think so.
have people like Michael Jordan, these amazing athletes who are clearly leaving a legacy with sports, and you have the average Joe like us.
Yeah.
What's your legacy, man? What else could you do better?
Because
This is your
unfortunately,
legacy.
we all can't be Michael
No.
freaking Jordan.
No. But I would.
But I love that we're ending. That's perfect.
But I would go so far as to say is like, he pales in comparison to what you're doing.
yeah.
What Michael Jordan does in that basketball court, or what he did, was amazing.
Yeah.
What's better than giving life and having
Amen.
and just giving to generational?
Yeah, I love that.
There's
Because
nothing
we're gonna
like-
forget
Yeah, you're
Michael
gonna-
Jordan.
Yeah, you're gonna forget.
But my children and their children are never going to forget me
No,
or you.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
that's it. Man. Thanks for the invite, dude.
I love you,
I love
boy.
you too, man.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Yeah.
Multiply. baby.
Multiply.
Do it.
Come on. Don't be a baby. Be a man.
You pause it. I love it. That was good. Love you, man. That's awesome. I
awesome.
love how you choked up, man. That was like,
Oh God.
that was good, dude.
I have to.
That was
I'm
good.
so emotional.
Dude, it's so good though, man.
Oh,
Show
God.
it, baby.
I know you're right. No, I'm telling you. Oh, it's still going.
You can stop it.